a little bit. The staff is like, oh,
They've seen enough of J-Lo
you
there,
know,
so they would be
they're good.
eager. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's so nice to meet you. I'm so excited to get to know you. I'm eager to hear about the book. And then you also mentioned that you have a second
Yes.
book.
Yes, I have another one hopefully coming out by the end of the year. But yeah, I'd love to chat about the book I have out now and what it's all about.
Yeah, let's talk about. I'd love to hear more just about you and your motherhood journey, your
Sure.
personal journey, wherever you want to start that. If it's a childhood, that's great too. But I just want to get to know you as a person, and then let's jump into the book. And I'm really interested into your how you're doing on the balancing thing because I know it's just so much work, and I know
Yes.
other moms out there are just trying to figure it out because there's so many things that come into play then between our taking care of ourselves, taking care of another human being, then the emotional aspect of things, the physicality of things, and actually being away or being home. Or, I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. And from the sounds of it, it sounds like you got a kind of good handle on it. So,
I like to think I have a good handle on it. So I'm happy to share. I have a ton of things to share today that'll hopefully be really actionable for your listeners. So a little bit of background on me. I am a wife to a serial entrepreneur, which now I guess I get to call myself that too, now that I run my own business and have written books. So I guess now that's me too.
yay.
And I am a mother to three kids. So my oldest just turned 4 last month. And then I have a 2.5-year-old, my daughter Caroline, and then my daughter Carly, who is 9 months old. So kind of feel like sometimes it's like running in a rat race with all of these kids and then trying to number one work from home, which I worked from home pre-pandemic, so I've been doing this for a while. But running my own company, I run a digital ad agency, and then as you know, I also kind of for fun have decided to start writing some books. So those are more about motherhood and kind of that journey. So my first book is called Why I Cried: Tales from Hysterical Pregnant Women. It's available on Amazon, Target.com, Walmart.com. And it is a compilation of stories of all the reasons why my friends and I, many moms that I've gotten to know, have cried during pregnancy. So it's super fun. Proceeds from bulk orders go to Postpartum Support International, which helps deal
Oh,
with perinatal mental health disorders, and a lot of the postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. They really help support women and families experiencing those things. So
yeah.
super passionate about it. But the stories are super fun. It's from all different types of mamas. So each chapter we walk through like a different mama's pregnancy, if you will. And so
Wow.
there's young moms and single moms and divorced moms and military moms even included. And so it's kind of a take into each person's different journey. And kind of the idea of the book is to really encourage women to kind of laugh at these things. Sometimes they can be so frustrating when you're having those hormonal moments, or the mom brain where you're forgetting things. It can be a time. And so reading this book, from all different types of moms, is really supposed to kind of help you lean in and find the joy in pregnancy again, and find the camaraderie. Being 3 pregnancies in, I've had some that were harder than others. So laughter is always the best medicine, right?
Yeah, I'm such a big fan of that because something I experience and something that I hear from moms common is how quick and easy it is to feel so alone. And within the social media world where we see the really pretty pictures of everyone smiling, having a good time, you're just like,
Right.
wow, they really got this motherhood down. And I'm over here crying because my one of my friends I think her like Oreo broke, and so she ended up crying. It wasn't because of the Oreo, but because of her emotions through pregnancy and so many things.
Yes.
And when you explain these things to any, if you just say, "Oh, I cried because of a cookie broke," it sounds like you're just have lost your marbles. But when you consider all the things that really go into it, how your hormones go completely out of whack and imbalance, technically all balanced perfectly for your body, but it's imbalance in what we're used to as a human being. Um, and so you mix all of this in, and then you get the mom guilt, the little. I heard postpartum depression while I was pregnant a lot. I heard like PPD, PPD, PPD. I was like, okay, so there's a thing. I did not hear PPA very common, and I just recently found out that I was going through postpartum anxiety, and didn't even know it. And so it kind of comes in waves, these reminders of how much we don't talk about the things that are actually very common. I'm not going to say normal, but they are very common through pregnancy, through postpartum, through just motherhood in general. And because we're so used to like the Pinterest, Instagram world, they aren't as exposed as much. And so it's easy to feel alone when you're experiencing these emotions or these feelings or these, you can call setbacks sometimes, because you haven't seen it or haven't heard that anyone else is experiencing them. So you're like, man, am I the only one that's really experiencing these really horrible, morbid, intrusive thoughts? Like, what is wrong with me? And then you hear from other moms like, no, I also think if I close my eyes, my baby's going to slip in the shower, roll down the stairs, and then hit themselves with a fork. And like these weird stories come about, which is what I love. And it was one of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast, is to start the conversations with moms to get rid of that loneliness.
Yeah, 100%. No matter how much moms look like they have it together. I mean, we all know behind the scenes, it's a different story. I have had friends without kids reach out to me just based on my Facebook posts and things that I'm talking about and doing, and understanding that I'm still running my business and staying at home with the kids. And so many people are like, you make motherhood look easy. You have it all figured out. And I'm like, I text them, I'm like, girl, that is nice to hear that that's what that picture looks like. But I let them know that this is, I mean, it is very, very hard. And I'm always the first one to stop and say that, like, behind the scenes. Like, I love that I posted a picture and it looks great. Like, we're all happy. Like, we just had a huge temper tantrum, like, right before this. So,
Always.
Yeah. So what's really important now, and, kind of outside of the book, is now that, I'm deeper into that motherhood journey. I now have 3 kids, and so quick, back to back, like 4, 2.5, 9 months, is really finding that balance and what that looks like for me. I experienced a lot of different things postpartum, but actually while pregnant, I experienced a couple of forms of pregnancy rage, which was very different to me, and something talked about even less than postpartum depression. So I was just running around angry. Like, I was the angriest person.
Really?
And so luckily, once baby came out, I actually, like, the hormones, I feel like I kind of reset, and I was actually like much more level-headed and calm, like, once baby was out. But I was going to therapy during that time that I started feeling a little bit out of control and kind of ragey. And the theme of my therapy session, first of all, I had a great therapist who was like, oh my gosh, she was also a mom of 2 and pregnant with a 3rd. So we were at the same, like, I had my 2, I was pregnant with a 3rd when I started seeing her. And I started kind of doing little things here and there, like giving myself a free pass, like, today I'm gonna, not do the laundry, or today I'm gonna do this. And I started to find easier ways to do things. Of course, during the pandemic, we're all like signing up for Instacart and grocery deliveries and things like that. I'd been doing that for years. But finding little ways like that to kind of take some of that expectation off, because I'm a go person. I like to do everything. I'm like a do-it-all. And sometimes not everything can get done. And you got to give yourself some breaks. You got to, stop the mom guilt over that. But at the same time, I've also found really optimized ways to do a ton of stuff in a day. And so that's kind of the tech mom resources that I wanted to chat about, and kind of like through the day, all of the helpful tons of apps and tech that kind of help get me through the day and make things so much quicker and help provide that balance.
I'd love to hear I guess maybe walk us through your daily routine, and what does that look like, where you're including these apps or technology that's helping you? Because I'm interested to see, if it's helping you within the workload or the kid world or the mom, like, because there are so many different apps and so many different technologies. But I mean, we're all here to listen to all the tools that are going to help us.
I will tell you everything. So that's perfect, because this is, morning to night. I can definitely give you a walk through how I do my day. So the first thing was I was taking some courses not long ago where it became really clear to me that one thing that would really help me in my parenting journey is waking up before my 3 kids. I was like, this is going to be like a 4 a.m. wake up call for me. But if I could just sit and have coffee in peace, I just am like a much kinder, lovable human being, right? And so I started saying, I'm going to wake up 10 minutes earlier today, 15 minutes earlier tomorrow, and I'm eventually going to get up a half hour before my kids, where I'm going to get dressed, I'm going to have that cup of coffee, I'm going to feel great. It didn't happen. We kept trying. There's three of them, you know, and it ended up being my son actually who was waking up first, and he was kind of like waking up the household, if you will. And so one of my first tech resources is getting them an okay to wake clock. So those are the clocks that turn different colors. So it'll turn like red right before bedtime, and then it can turn green when they're like allowed out of the room. So what I did is I set him up with some safe activities like puzzles. Like he's definitely like a puzzle Lego type kid. So I set him up with some things and showed him his brand new weight clock, and like, this is a big deal. You're like a grown up with your own alarm clock, and it'll turn like yellow in the morning, like when you can start waking up, moving around your room, but we don't come out until it turns green. So this took some time. It took a while to get him super into it, but once he did, that kind of gave me back a little bit of my morning time. I found preparing activities and stuff in his room for him, kind of new things for him to do, because when he was coming out before time, it was usually just boredom. So that's my first okay to wake clock for your kid, is like my first tech tip. The next one is interesting. The next one's for me. So the next one is about getting dressed. So I found that my body had went through so many changes with 3 pregnancies. I had been like every size imaginable. And I was losing the weight in between, and then I didn't lose weight this last round. And so I found that getting dressed was just way too overwhelming for me in the mornings. And so I would just stay in my PJs. I would put on yoga pants and do whatever was easiest. I was working from home, and I was like, does it matter? But it does matter, because when you dress up, you show up a little bit differently, and you hold your head a little bit higher. The confidence, even if things feel like a mess, I think that really helps, just getting dressed. And so one thing I did is I went through my whole closet, and I won't say I got rid of it. I donated a lot of stuff. The rest I moved to a separate closet in a different bedroom.